Because there was internet. Yeah, recently the office internet has not been doing too well. Yeah.
Everybody get off their Wi-Fi.
All right. Thank you, Ronnie. Do you see it?
Hold on. Turning out.
If not, I'll just hotspot it. Yeah, it should be going.
I haven't got a notification yet.
Let me just log in. Yeah, I see it. Nothing so hard. Sorry, guys.
No biggie. It happens.
Sorry.
It's broken.
No?
Yeah.
Huh, I don't see anything too. Let me just connect to my okay. Let's switch.
So lonely? No, I don't want to be there. Look at that stuff. Multiple. Wow.
Infinity. Okay, that should work. Hopefully. That's on a different network now, so hopefully a little bit will work. Yes? Because it takes a little bit of lag time. So.
It takes a little bit. I'll check in a little bit.
Okay, thank you. So I'm gonna log in to my WFG. So you guys don't necessarily need to have your laptop right now. Just pay attention to some of the topics that we talked about. And I'm gonna start with Transamerica's illustration, and then I'll jump into Pack Life and Nationwide as well. So most of you guys should know how to run the regular illustration, run the defaults and all that as well. So this is my default, okay? So you should know how to run the default. And I want to walk you guys through some cases in which you can utilize some of these additional options that you don't usually utilize, right? So let's take a look. So one thing that I want to talk to you guys about is called, let me get rid of long-term care, because a lot of these extras that you do on this, you cannot have long-term care on there. So either have, so that's for specific cases, okay? So a lot of clients like the long-term care, yes? Right? Yeah. So, or maybe they have like two products, right? Like half of it with long-term care, half of it without long-term care. There might be some modifications in California that allows us to do multiple things in the future, but currently no. So I'm going to put no for long-term care right now. Okay, and then what I want to show you are some key things, right? So one thing that I want to show you is called base insured. Okay, base insured. Anybody know what base insured is?
No.
Anyone? Anyone? Base insured? Okay. So you guys know that when you calculate insurable needs, insurance needs, what method do you guys typically use? Like how much does a family need of insurance? Dime method, for example, right? And you calculate it out to, let's say, $1 million, right? But the if you look at the client's income and how much they can save and discretionary income, let's say that they can only do $300 a month. Okay, you run an illustration and you go, okay, 300 bucks gets me 500,000 of death benefit. So there's a shortfall. Did you guys see that? There's a shortfall based upon their budget. So what do?
Use base insured.
There you go. Well, what's one thing that you have in your mind? Get them an IUL and a term. Yes. So you have two policies now, and maybe the IUL is they can get a 1,000 policy for 200, right? And then use the rest of the money to get a term for $800,000. Does that make sense? Okay. Well, base insured is considered like a built-in term. It's like a built-in term, but you can't do that currently with long-term care. So, for example, my
When does it become available if you can't currently do it?
you can currently do it without long-term care. Okay, so if you turn off long-term care, you can actually utilize this in an IUL. So let's run the illustration with and without. Okay, so currently right now the illustration set up for 500. This is my base. You know, my base is $1,000 a month, 500, right? So so let's try this. Let's do $500. Okay. So for a 35-year-old, a little bit above target. Okay. So for a 35-year-old, I can get $500,000 death benefit, right? And target premium $4,000. You're a little bit over. That's fine, right? So what happens if I double up this $500,000 death benefit? What happens to my target?
Increases as well.
By how much? If I double this 500,000 here, what does my target become? Around
Double.
8,500.
8,500. Okay. You guys want to see it, or you guys already know it?
No.
You know it, right? So I don't have to show you. If I double this to $1 million, this one becomes 8,500, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you if you can add base insured here. You see that? Death benefit of how much?
1 million.
1 million. And it still works, right? Target's still the same. Are you above target with your 6,000? Are you above, right? Is your premium above the target?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
It works, right? Remember, if this was 8,500 and your premium is 6,000, then guess what? That's not a healthy policy. You always want to make sure that your premium is above or below target. Which one?
Above.
Above the target. Okay. So if we did it the other way, where I just doubled up the death benefit, right? Then I would have a it'll be short, right? Like so, 6,000 is my premium and 8,500 is my target. So this is a basically term insurance is cheap, right? The only difference is this one doesn't expire in 30 years. Take a look.
Oh, wow.
What does it go to?
100.
Age 100. Way better than expiring in 30 years. Is that a good option?
Yes.
Pretty cool. But remember, you can't put long-term care in this one. So maybe now you have two products and you can play around with. Okay? So these are just ideas that I want to share with you guys because you may not know that this exists. You know how great our products are. There's so many different things that you can utilize in that one. Is this pretty cool? Is this very simple?
Yes.
Right? But have you guys really played around and kind of see what it is and all that? It's pretty cool, right? So this one helps a client who has insurable need, but bless you, right? They have insurable, but their budget or discretionary income does not match. You know, like $1 million. They needed $1 million, but their income they can't do 8,500 a month, right? But they can do 6,000. You can just boom, add that on, and you have that for your client. Does that make sense? So these products, you know, like not every single one you have to have long-term care in it, right? I have, you know, multiple IULs. One of my IULs doesn't have long-term care in it, right? My Pac Life one doesn't have it, right? But it's been growing pretty well. I showed my team, right? Like the other day, it's been getting like 15%, like on some of the strategies for like 5 years in a row. It's pretty cool, right? So I have that. You know?
Can I see the summary again?
Show you what?
The summary?
Sure, of course. This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So in this case, the policy value is
Not online.
It's not on live.
No.
So what's going on? This is so weird. Mine shows it's here live right now.
I haven't gotten a notification.
Okay. That's so weird.
Maybe it's me.
Let's
Oh no.
I
see.
don't. You buy friends.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on right now, so we'll have to figure it out later. But I have to continue. So yeah. So I don't know what's going on. It says live video right here. So
Multiple times.
yeah, multiple times. So I'm gonna continue. Okay. So where was I?
I want to see the
Summary.
summary. So in this case, the policy value is following what the 500,000. I mean.
Oh, you mean here? Policy value? Just basically just treat it like the same thing. Treat it like an IUL, except we're using a very small portion of money to buy cheap term. Does that make sense? So if you take a look here, you probably won't get the same. You see at 15 years, it's at 106.
Right.
If I remove the base insured, it probably won't be at 106. Okay? So let me show you, right? So let me remove this. Okay? There we go.
More than, okay.
111. So 5,000 across 15 years. Okay? So yes.
So is that a rider in IGO, or how do you write that?
It's a rider.
Okay.
All of these we're doing are riders.
Okay.
Okay?
It's on the right.
Yeah. You guys see that? So that allows you to have that coverage for up to age 100, which is different than if you get like a sec. So there's options. You can play around with this one. You can also play around with the term on the side as well. And when you play around with the term, it might come out with different costs and all that involved. But remember, that only lasts for 30 years, or 20 years, or 25 years, or whatever you can and cannot do, right? So, question?
Yeah, can you get more than the actual, like,
Less
you have
than-
500,000 policy and you get $1 million?
I think it has to be same or under. Last I checked, depends on the company. Let's try it.
Okay.
So to answer your question, let's do $1 million. Yes, that's the question.
Yeah.
And
There you go, $1 million.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Then the cash is now at 101.
About 5,000 more.
Yeah. So it's not that bad if you have the insurable need, to pass down onto your kids. So I would do this one like because long-term care is important. I always have my base product have long-term care, right? But if there's insurable need and all that, have this on top of that. So I have multiple products. A lot of my clients have like 2, 3 IULs, right? Not just one. So one of it's geared towards long-term care. One of it's geared with more benefit. Yes, question.
Can you add this after the policy's in force?
No, most of the policies you have to get from the beginning, okay? From the beginning. Plus, if you got your client long-term care, then that's for sure no. Yeah. So just do a second or a third policy. Yes. Question.
since there is no LTC, can you have a living benefits added to it?
A living benefit added
To the policy instead of a LTC?
Oh, you mean like for example, because most of it comes with like
Like a
the.
loan.
I'm
Can you
sorry?
get a loan from?
Oh yeah, for sure. You can get the loan, yeah. But so you're asking like, for example, what?
You know,
Like terminals already included.
yeah, that's what I mean. This
Yeah.
is living benefits are normally included in
They're normally
some
included,
of them.
yes.
In
Yes.
some of them. In
Yeah,
some
like
IULs.
terminals included.
Like Pacific Life have a built
Chronic.
in chronics and
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
So
For Pac Life you can do for sure.
and this one,
Yeah, this one I'm not sure on the chronic. The chronic I can't answer. Terminal for sure.
$250,000. Okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
Got it. So Pac Life I know for sure. Transamerica I have to look it up. So if I don't know it, I'm just gonna tell you guys I don't know it. Off the top of my head.
Nationwide?
Yeah. Nationwide, I don't know it. I know Pac Life.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know Pac Life.
Yeah, I know. We've been trained on Pac Life. Nationwide, we can look at it later on in the
Yeah.
software because this one they don't have an option to choose chronic by itself. Okay. Any more questions on this one? You guys can use this as a sales idea, right? So it's pretty cool. Okay. So far so good. Okay, good.
So the term is always at age 100.
I don't think you can go
Is it by
higher.
default?
Yeah, I don't think you can go higher.
Looks like it's
So.
by default.
I'm sorry.
By default, it's go to age 100.
Age one, yeah. You can switch it to lower and it'll reduce the cost. Yeah, but you can't go above it. I tried, right? Look, age 110. Nope. So software says no. Age 100 max, but that's pretty good for a term,
Yeah.
right? What other term can get you to age 100? None.
Yeah.
Most terms they don't allow you to go beyond around 85 to 90, right? So if you're if you're like 70 years old, they won't allow you to buy a 30-year term, right? You guys play that on term before,
25,
right? So
years.
yes.
This term to 100, is it like at 30 years or is this like when you're like 35?
No, depends on whatever age you're currently at. So this guy's 35.
65.
So this is like a 65-year-old term.
Okay.
Not old. 65-year term. Not 65-year-old term. After we hit 100, it will be. Yes.
If you remove the term, does it go to 120 or?
If you remove the term, no. Your base will go to 120. Your 500 base will go to 120, but the term will only go to 100.
Right.
Okay. You guys got that? Yes. And most of the time, as far as I know, you can remove the rider as well, like during the course of the policy. It's hard to add, but it's easier to remove. So you can cancel this base insured. Let's say in 30 years, you're like, I don't need this coverage anymore. You can remove that from there. Question?
So what's the maximum amount in case?
Maximum amount of
Yeah, for this term.
term? Well,
For this rider.
Keep it 2 million?
let's take a look. I don't know. I think it's like I think the total policy has to be under a certain value. So let's try this. So 2 million works. Okay. So no, it's not unlimited. 2.5 works. Okay. So hey, this is a pretty good option for your clients, huh? Look at this.
What is it at 15 years again?
You only,
Yeah.
Can we see the
Well, no, the
50 years?
required premium is
the
higher.
premium only went
Just for another
$36.
$36.
50 year,
I'm sorry.
The premium only went
Yeah,
36.
because the required premium is higher. You see that?
Yeah, but it's only for
For a few years. Right?
5 years.
Yeah.
So 90.
Wow.
So still pretty good. Look, your cash is still 90. That's not bad for having like 2.5 million. That's not bad, and cash value, right? You guys love our products or what? This is pretty cool stuff that you can play. So when you get free time, don't feel afraid of playing around with software and seeing what you can do, what you can't do, and you know what I mean? Like it's some very very cool stuff. I don't think it goes beyond 2, okay? And plus we have to put more premium, but let's try 3. Let's see what it says. Push the limits, right?
Tilt.
3.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Software
Okay, well you
programs.
got to put more money in. Okay,
Yeah.
but it's okay. What do you guys want to try to 10?
No. But it had to be approved by the.
There you go. See,
oh, 500 is the
5 million is the highest. Okay, there you go. So
But it had to be approved by the
yeah, of course.
insurable needs, right?
Of course, you have to have the insurable need as well, income wise and all that. So absolutely. But if you have a wealthy client, then this might be it, right? So 10,000 for 5 years, 6,000 here.
You're single, you're renting an
Cash
apartment,
value,
and then you want
okay,
5
not
million.
bad. And then yeah, so this is just the minimum. So if it pushed that up a little bit, right? Okay, so you guys got it? Okay, play around. Okay, cool. Can we move on?
Yes.
So you guys know what that is now. If I were to ask you guys what's base insured, you guys know?
Yes, we know.
What is it?
Covers the shortfall.
Okay, covers a short. Basically, it's like a term built into your product. It comes on as a rider or not a rider?
Rider.
Okay, good. You guys are getting good. Now, how many of you guys have heard of? Okay, so let me erase this and start over. Did you guys see that option and just skip it or what?
So
Yes?
so it is below.
Or you put long-term care on, you can't even select it, right? So you can't even click on it to play around with it, right? So, okay, so let me get rid of long-term care because I want to give you another option.
No.
No long-term care. Okay, so this is another purpose, and it might come into play for some of you guys because I have had clients who have things like they're worried that, for example, their beneficiaries get the money and they blow it in 1 year. You guys ever have clients think about that stuff? Hey, you know what? My death benefit is like 1 million, and but my spouse is very bad with money. My spouse is very gullible. My spouse, if they remarry, like they're probably going to give all the money to the spouse, the new spouse. That's a reasonable concern, yes?
Yes.
Okay, right? Like reasonable concern. I mean, it's human being, right? So you think about that stuff. So can we do something about that? Absolutely, right? So there's some stuff that we can play around with. It's pretty cool. it's kind of like so remember, first of all, we have the built-in term, right? How about something like a built-in trust, a built-in will?
Wow.
How you guys like that? That's pretty cool, right? So let's take a look. It's something called income protection. Okay, income protection. And what will happen is income protection will change your death benefit, okay, accordingly. But if you look at income protection, what you can do is you can specify some amounts, monthly payments, and all that. Where it's going to be fun, right? Let me show you. So forget which one's which. I don't do this too often. Specified amount. Oh yes, this is right. So if you do this one and monthlies, it adds you more. Okay, so let's give it let's take a look. So how these ones work is they will give you you don't have to have one, but you can do an initial lump sum. You can do a period of time where they're getting monthlies or annual payments, right? And then you can have a final death benefit, and it all adds up together to some type of amount. Okay, so to give you an example, if I were to give, let's say if your client were to die and the spouse got $1 million, right? They'll blow it on 1 year. What's the point of insurance anymore, right? Because this person is so bad with money. What if you broke it down to, instead of that, you kind of know like either the cost of living, either the what they need monthly, or find something reasonable, like $5,000 a month. That's reasonable, right? And your spouse can't do anything with $5,000, like they can't blow all the $5,000 and blow the rest of the $1 million in a month. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's try that out. So initial lump sum, maybe let's do 30,000 for the burial, right? So let's do 30,000, or maybe you have Everest already, which is even a better option, right?
Yeah.
So, but let's say that this person doesn't have Everest, and initially they do 30,000 initial, right? So that there's funeral costs and all that. This money will go back and pay for that. Okay. And actually, this one is solved with monthly. So I'm going to specify. Okay, so now, how much do you want to give her a month? 5,000? Why did I say her? Okay, her or him. Okay, so 5,000 a month, and then monthly for how long? Right. So 5,000 a month for 60,000 a year, right? For how long? Right, like 3 years,
10 years,
30 years, 10 years, right? Whatever you want, right? So you can actually specify that. Let's do up to 25, right? So let's say you guys want to do 20 years? That's 1.2 million, okay, plus 30,000. Final lump sum, right? Do you want to have a final lump sum if they were to die? Yes, you can put 0. You don't have to have one, right? So let's just put 0. Doesn't matter. So what's going to happen is you're going to see. Oh, this should change, but okay. It will change right here. See? You see that? They calculate for you the face amount. Okay. So you take a look at how this policy plays out. Okay. Everything's still the same. You still have policy value. You still have cash value. All that good stuff. You can still pull money out. You can still withdraw money and all that. It's just that if something were to happen to you and then you were to die, then this is the schedule plan, like the one that we laid out. It's kind of like having like a trust or a will that specify how much the person can make. And this is after, it's like controlling your money beyond the grave. Pretty cool, right? So this is another option that exists on the Transamerica product specifically, without long-term care. Okay, I don't know if they have this option on Pac Life or Nationwide. I haven't seen it. So this is also one feature unique to the Transamerica product that you can utilize. It's called the income protection option. Okay, it's not a rider. It's called an income protection option. Okay, so as far as I know, there's no extra charge on this one. Isn't that nice? Having like a will and a trust built in without an extra charge.
Something that can make stipulations in a will.
That's right.
So that one,
Except it's built in, right? Remember, does this go through probate or no?
No.
Does not go to probate, right? So automatically kicks in when you die, and then you get the monthlies, you get the whatever the case is, right? So it is a very fun option to play around, because I have had those people. I had those people who were divorced, right? Oh, you know what? If I were to die, and the ex-husband gets hands on the money that I put for my child, what's going to happen? And there's all these different cases that real life people will ask you about, and then you're not sitting there fumbling like, oh, I don't know, we can do this or not. I don't. Yes, you guys want to be professionals. You guys want to be like, hey, there is something like that, and hopefully you played around with this before so that you can know how it looks, and you can be professional in front of them. You can be like, hey, you know what, like this is what it looks like, this is what it means, this is what you can do. It's like a built-in will and trust, and the spouse can't do anything about it. They can go to the company and beg, oh, you know what, it's $1 million, it's 900,000, I need money. Nope, it's already stipulated, it's already predetermined, and it's something that they cannot change. Only the owner can change. Is that pretty cool?
The owner still can change the fee?
The amount, as far as I know, I haven't. Last I remember, I don't recall. Okay, I don't recall. You might be able to. Okay, because I remember asking that question to the company a long time ago. You might be able to modify it as you go. But then what happens? It'll change the death benefit. So if it increases the death benefit, I can imagine it'll be a little bit harder. If it decreases it, it's okay. Overall.
Because sometimes things just change.
Things change. Yep.
Yeah, they divorce and they just change their mind.
Yep.
Yeah.
So as far as just from my experience, anything that increases the face amount is a little bit more difficult. So let's say you change from 20-year to 25-year, right? And then the face amount goes up to 960. That might be more difficult on the insurance company side. But if it goes from 937 to 900, I can see how it might be easier for the company to do that. Okay. But I haven't called the company for like 2 years on this option. So
changes on how you pay out the benefit.
Correct, because how it changes out the benefit will change this number. So watch, let me show you. If we obviously if we decrease this from 20 to 18, okay, and we solve it, it's going to be less than what error? Death benefit option changes. Oh, 18 years. Okay, let's just switch it to 22. Okay, so hold on. Now it's erroring out on my changes. Where's my policy change? 30-year level.
That's the match, I think.
No, I was at 20 years, right? So
Yeah, I was at 20.
20 years work.
You can change the other numbers.
Let me take a look. Huh? How come it ran before? Hold on. What changed? We're playing sleuth now. Sum of amount payable 1.3, face amount 2, calculate.
Additional benefits.
Option changes.
Remove all.
I know, but I wanted to keep that on there, but let's just. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So I think it automatically removed it the first time, but then I didn't do it. Okay, so hold on. So it should be 937. Okay, so now let me switch this to 15 years. That should change. There you go. You see that? So it's because it's only 15 years now of payout instead of 20 years on the income protection option. So the last, I mean, I don't have that good of a memory from 2 years ago when I was calling and asking about these options, but I think the decrease is a little bit easier than the increase. So, but if you really want to know, call the company and check them out. Okay. But can you see potential clients who might be able to utilize this option? Right? When they ask questions about it, when they ask what they can do, when they're worried and concerned about how the money is utilized after, and then they don't want to go through the trouble of like putting it together like a trust or like a will. They don't want, right? They don't want to go through that options, and the will still go to probate. A trust costs more money. They're like, oh, and they don't want to go through that. This is a built-in option for them. Built-in option. Okay? So it's kind of a built-in trust for them. That's pretty cool. Okay? So now we have a built-in term. And what else do we have? Built-in trust, right? So those are some really cool options for your client.
Is this option can be modified as you go as well? Or it has to be set up from the very beginning.
I know for sure it's has to be set up from the beginning, but I don't know if the modification can be changed or not.
Yeah, but
So that's
it's-
why I'm saying I haven't talked to him for 2
Let's
years.
say so you get married, you have no kids.
Yeah,
So,
I understand.
and then as you life goes through, it
Correct.
changes.
Yeah. So that's why I'm saying I'm right now it's just a guess because I haven't talked to them for a while. I remember asking all these questions a while back, but I can imagine, as I'm saying, I can imagine decreasing is easier than increasing.
Yeah.
I can tell you that for sure, right? But I don't
It's
know.
always
I'm
yes.
not going to give you an answer because I don't know, right? Unless I can call them right now, which is on the weekend I can't, right? So I'm not going to sit here and BS. So I don't remember, right? So I don't remember if you can modify this or not. Okay, it's just somebody call on the Monday or Tuesday and let me know.
It would be nice if they could build a percentage in
Uh-huh.
to keep up with the expenses over time. But I don't think they can do that. It's
No.
just a straight 0%
Yeah.
increase.
Yeah.
Maybe though, you can never tell.
You can never tell, yeah. Yeah. So pretty cool idea, right? How many of you guys know that we can do a built-in trust? Oh, Dave Schuster knew, right? So there you go, that's good. This is pretty awesome, right?
And this program's called Transware? It says Transware.
Transware is the software.
Okay.
This is still the same FFIUL. Still the same exact product. Transware is just the name of the software. Okay. Very good question, okay? So keep throwing it out. There's no bad questions, okay? So just so you guys know exactly, this is still the FFIUL, okay? Financial Foundation, right? IUL. You guys got it? Pretty cool option?
Great option.
You guys learned something new?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. This is good stuff, okay? Next thing I wanted to show you is a lot of people out there haven't done any 1035 exchange. I'm going to do real quick because this is a very simple concept. 1035 exchange is basically if somebody has an older policy, right? So let's say that you have a friend who has a VUL, or they want to get out of the market, or you have somebody who has a whole life, which you shouldn't touch the money anyways in whole life, right? We already had a class on that, right? So all the bad things that can happen if you try to withdraw money from a whole life, that's pretty bad, right? So what they can do is they can move from a whole life into an IUL. So now you have overloan protection on the IUL, and they can start withdrawing money, right, with a wash loan, and they don't have to worry about like phantom taxes. They don't have to worry about all these stuff that you have to deal with whole life. So what you can do is same client and premium 1035 exchange. There we go. So let's just say 1035 exchange. They have like $15,000, right? $15,000 from the 1035 exchange. We may or may not know the cost basis, so you can just throw in maybe, right? If you know how much premiums they put in. So let's just say that they out of that they put in 15,000 premium because it's a whole life, right? Like they don't have too much growth, okay? And then take a look and see what happens. See the first year? 15,000 from the exchange, right? Plus so now your policy grows even better, right? Because you have the initial 15,000 that's pumped in the first year.
Plus the 12. Huh?
Plus the 12. And look at this. I want to show you something that's pretty cool. Look at our guideline annual. What is it? The max you can put in a year is 14, right? Remember your guideline annual? So how come we can put in 27?
Because of 1035 exchange.
Because at 1035, what's your maximum for 1035? 67. Guideline single. You guys ever wonder what a guideline single premium is? Yes?
Yeah.
So single, guideline annual premium is the maximum you can put in per year. Yes?
Yes.
Guideline single premium is how much you can put in via a 1035 exchange. So now you guys you're like, oh, that's what that column is for. That's what it means, right? But you guys always see that big number, right? Your clients come in like, oh, I see the 67. Does that mean I can put in 67,000 the first year? Answer is what?
No.
Nope.
Unless it's a 1035 exchange. Okay, you guys are getting good. You guys got it?
Yeah.
I'm sorry?
I said right, because they're moving their existing money.
They're moving their existing money, and it's okay. It's coming in from, but they can't put more than the 67 in this one, right? Unless you bump up the what?
Death benefit.
There you go, you got it,
What is
right?
it?
Unless you bump up the death benefit, that's going to increase, right? Proportionately. Question from the back.
What does the policy value look like?
Yep, I'll show you. Yeah. Question in the back.
Yeah, the 1035 exchange only comes from like life policy, or it comes from like 401ks or anything?
No, 1035 can only come in from a life policy.
Okay.
Yes,
Any company?
any company. Okay, it's your right to be able to do that. So 1035 is actually an IRS code.
Right.
Okay, so IRS tax code that allows you to move it in non-taxable.
So that means if I do a 1035 exchange from a life insurance, let's say a whole life,
Yes.
so when I move it here, the whole life is finished, it's gone.
Yes, the other one is finished unless you want to continue paying for it, because it has no cash value.
Some people do both.
You're just moving the cash value.
I'll just move the
If you want to keep the policy alive, you have to continue paying your premiums on the old one, right? So this one's moving the cash, moving the cash. Okay, but what happens to your whole life without cash? I don't know. So maybe you have to put more premium
Not
in.
much.
Yeah. So
But you can only take so much anyway. You cannot take the full amount.
for what?
On the 1035 exchange from a whole life cash value. because
Right, you can only take the cash value,
You
the cash
only
surrender
take the
value.
cash surrender value.
Correct. But if you're
Not
past
the,
the surrender period,
not the accumulation value.
yeah, the whole life is
Yeah.
whole life. There's a lot of messy stuff with whole life. Yeah, I know. I know what you're
Yeah.
saying. Yeah. So whatever the cash surrender value is in a whole life is what you can take. Okay. Question.
Suppose the cash value is over 67, you can only move 67.
Then remember what his answer was. You increase what?
The-
Okay. Remember, if you increase the death benefit, these values all increase proportionally, right? So memorize these numbers. Okay. What are we looking at? We're looking at 4,000,
Right.
14, and 67. So if I move the death benefit up to 1 million, guess what happens to the numbers? Should double. So let's take a look. 8,000, 30, 133, roughly, right? So it's good, roughly. You guys see that?
Yeah.
So now you can play around with it, right? I increase it to 750. You expect it to proportionately grow to whatever the amount is. You see that? 67 is that right? So then you bump up the death benefit, right? The target goes up, the guideline goes up double, right? So likewise, you can also decrease in half, and then it will half the numbers. You guys got it?
Yes.
Got it? So you can 1035 in 130,000. Not that whole life will ever get there. I'm just joking. Okay, question?
The target premium stays.
Can you move from the other country like Malaysia?
Not that I know of. You can ask, but not that I know of. Okay? Because this is IRS, this is the US IRS tax rules.
Okay.
So not that I know of, but we can call and ask. That's a very good question. Okay, how much cash value do you have outside? 80? Okay, that'd be cool. You move 80 over.
No,
Do it.
Convert.
Huh?
We can try that.
Yeah, you convert to US dollars.
Yeah, you
right?
divide by 4.
So 20,000 then.
You just gotta convert it. You gotta
20,000.
convert it for
Yeah, US currency, right? But I don't know if they'll allow us to do that, right? Question?
There won't be any hidden taxes if you like withdraw your whole life policy, would there?
No, we're not withdrawing from the whole life policy. Remember that.
Oh,
We're
you're
exchanging.
exchanging,
Okay, so it's kind of like a 401k. You can roll it over to an IRA out of your company. This one is like you're rolling it over from a previous insurance to this insurance. Yes, it's kind of like a rollover.
It's a different name.
It's a different name. It's a
Okay.
1035 exchange.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
So when you do the 1035 exchange, the premium on this new insurance is based on your current age.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, you have to take that into consideration as well. But then it's a balance. You know why? Because a lot of people who have whole life, they're not supposed to withdraw from that anyway. So even if you have a whole life from 20, 30 years ago, right, you're older now, but you want to access your money, then move it over to here because there can be some crazy stuff going on especially if it's a 30-year-old whole life. You might have like 8% like loan rate, and you might have like all these weird things in there that you end up paying a lot of taxes, and it might not be good for you to, unless you just want to keep it for the insurance. Then you can keep the old whole life for insurance. Okay? Remember, the main purpose of whole life is what? Protection, insurance for up to age 100, for example, right? So that's the purpose of whole life. Purpose of whole life, even though it has cash surrender value or cash value is not to withdraw money. Okay, we already had the class on that, right? Where, you know, like you can see all the bad stuff that happens when you try to withdraw money from whole life, right? Mainly phantom taxes. That's and policy lapse, phantom tax. So remember those.
Because a whole life cannot be tax advantaged.
Whole life is tax advantage,
If you
but
die.
as long as the policy is kept intact. The problem is the loan rate is so high that it's difficult to keep the policy intact. And then when it lapses, then it becomes taxable.
I'd rather have a term with a living benefit than a whole life.
Right, exactly. You know what you're getting with that one. And it's smaller amount of money and all that too.
Right,
So
right,
absolutely, yes. You guys got it? Questions? 1035 exchange? Let's do some more, right? Yeah. So what I taught Terry is that, you know, sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't make sense, right? So any of your clients who have money in an old policy like a VUL or an old whatever product, right? What you can tell them is say, hey, we do free reviews, right? And if there's something that's better for you out there, don't you want to at least know that it exists, right? So my job and what we do is we offer free reviews. You know, so what you can do is take a picture of your policy. I don't need your personal information. If you want to black out your name and policy number, I don't mind, right? I just want to see your values. I want to see what policy you have. And I want to see if, you know, like you might not know what you don't know, right? Like maybe the agent told you can take out money, but you can't, right? So let me do a free review for your policy, right? If yours is good, I'm going to tell you it's good, right? If it's not good, then, you know, like then maybe we can do something better. Right, like Terry, you showed me one, right? What was the suggestion?
The VUL, just keep it.
It's good. Yeah, I looked at it. The person's young. They're not afraid of the market. You know, it's even with the company that we utilize, right? And it looks fine to me. Good growth. You know, keep it. So at least the client doesn't feel like all the time that, you know, we're just chasing sales, right? What happens if the client has a 401k? Who does she go to? Us, because we're the one who give the good advice versus just, oh, exchange everything, exchange everything, exchange everything. Right. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So there's good times to exchange, there's bad times to exchange. If you have a client who's 3 years in a policy, right, and they put in 10,000, but the cash surrender is 2,000, is that a good exchange?
No.
No, they're losing 8,000 bucks. How does that benefit the client? It doesn't. Okay, so don't do that. Does that make sense? If you only have a policy for 2-3 years, the cash surrender is high, why does it make sense? Unless on paper, everything you go through the numbers, you save the client money, it makes sense, then that's when you want to do these things for your clients. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. So that's one sales idea that I can give to you guys is that anybody who has an old policy, just do a free review. I don't care if it's a term. I don't care if it's whatever the case is, because there are people who believe in insurance who have policies. Let's just say, hey, you know what? I'm going through my training period, and I just want to learn how to read these statements. Right? So a lot of you guys, I'm going through my training period. I want to learn how to read these statements. And do you mind making a copy of yours so I can learn? You can black out your name. You can black out your policy number. You know, I wanted a real live case that that I can learn from, right? And on top of that, if there's better options for you, don't you want to learn about them? Right? If there's something wrong with the policy that you have, like that you don't know, don't you want to learn about them? Right? I want to learn about them, right? And I think it's good for your family because, I mean, obviously you believe in insurance. Right? Don't you want to make sure that your insurance is intact and it's designed properly? Right? So do free reviews. You can absolutely do that. You can do free reviews for this. You can also do free reviews for IRAs and all that, right? So utilize that. Utilize that more often, and you can have 2, 3, 4, 5 more clients a year that you might not have had before if you didn't do these free reviews. So these are some good ideas for you guys. Right? It might open the conversation for sitting down and learning more about what we do, and like it just opens a lot of doors. Remember the 6 steps of closing. One of them is statements. You guys remember that?
Yes, that's right.
So you can actually get the statement even before the appointment.
Right after referrals.
Right? You can get the referral or the statement even before the appointment. Right. So that's how cool our business is, right? So you can do that. So that's another sales ideas for you guys, right? Is to get the statement prior. Use it as a training. Use it as, hey, free review. I'm just learning about these statements and all that, or I'm learning about all these advanced designs in these insurance products, and I just want to see what you guys got, right? Block out your private information if you don't want to share that with me, but I just want to see the numbers and how if it's the right thing for you. Cool. So how many of you guys gonna go get some statements this week? Let's go. Let's go get some statements, right? You got to know people who already have insurance too, right? You got to know people like that, right? Maybe people in your family, maybe, right? Write down the names. Like, I'm going to follow up with this person. Tell them that I'm in my training period. I need to learn how to read statements, right? And send it over. Who knows? We might be able to improve yours, right? Who knows? Who knows? There might be some leaks in yours, because I'm learning about that right now. Like learning about how to find leaks and how to improve it. Okay, so any more questions on 1035?
Yeah. Well,
Yes.
that just covers insurance, the 1035 exchange.
Yes. Yes.
Insurance products.
Yes.
Okay.
What was your question?
With the, well, like for the 1035 exchange, can somebody take money out of the whole life and maybe put it into like a Roth IRA, something like that?
That's not a 1035 exchange though. So that's basically a withdrawal. That's a
Taking out their
distribution.
cash and okay, so they'd be taxed on that?
If it's a whole life, remember in all insurance, as long as the insurance stays intact, it can be non-taxable. As long as the insurance policy stays intact. So if they cancel the whole life policy and they take it out as cash, then that's taxable.
Okay.
That's in any policy.
Okay.
Okay, you got it so far?
Got it.
Okay. If they withdraw money and they keep the policy intact, then that money is non-taxable. Okay? Same thing with IUL, same thing with whole life and all that. If they take out the money, the policy is intact, everything is non-taxable. Okay? So in your case, which one is it? Do they take out all the money and then they quit the whole life, or they still keep the whole life? What's the...
Take it all out.
Okay, they take it all out, becomes taxable now, right? They have to eat it, they pay the taxes, they can put it in anything they want. Roth IRA, they can do whatever they want. Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay, does that answer your question, or?
It does.
Okay, okay, just remember that. As long as the policy is intact, then it's non-taxable, but once you cancel the policy, once you no longer have a policy, then the money that you have from that is taxable. Okay, the government will come back and look for you.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir. Question.
If you're taking that money and putting it into a Roth IRA, then you're then you're limited as to whether you had any income.
That's correct. Yeah.
And the limits on
5,500, 6,500. Absolutely. Yeah. Yes. Everything's still played by the rules. Yep. You're absolutely right. So when you take the money out, you have 30,000. You can't stick all 30,000 into a Roth, right? You have to follow the rules, right? Like the 5,500 and the catch-up period. Okay. So, you know, Robert's a very smart guy. You want to clarify for you guys. Right? So thank you. You guys got it?
Yes.
Okay. So let me see if I do have time. Next thing I want to share with you guys is a little bit different concept, and some people out there they're looking for something similar to a whole life where they don't necessarily need the cash value, right? We have something called no lapse guarantee, okay, or NGL, okay. So let's just say they're looking for permanent insurance, and all that, and cash value is secondary, but it exists. Okay, then that's a little bit different than whole life, because whole life you're not supposed to take out money. Does that make sense? Right? At least this one allows you to have permanent coverage, no lapse guarantee on there, and let me show you nationwide. Okay, so in this particular case, it's somebody who says, you know what, my primary purpose is not cash value. My primary purpose is to have a policy out there that no matter what the cash value is, it's always going to be enforced. As long as I pay my premiums, then do you guys have products like that? The answer is yes. Okay, it's called no lapse guarantee. Very similar to whole life, but more modern version of it, right? So remember, primary thing is not cash. Okay, primary thing is I just want permanent insurance. I want it to be there, rain or shine, regardless of how market perform, and I want to be able to have that. Because in reality, in an IUL, let's say in an IUL, if the market crashed for like five years in a row, is that going to happen, guys? Probably not, right? But if it market crashed 5 years in a row, right? We've probably never seen more than like 2, maybe 3 years, right? But like 5 years in a row, then you'll probably have to pay a little bit higher premium to keep it alive in the first 5 years. And then you can go back to the regular premium for the rest of the duration. That's just theoretical. I don't think it's going to happen. But on a no lapse guarantee, it doesn't matter. You can keep the same premium. Does that make sense? Okay, no lapse guarantee says that as long as you pay a certain premium, regardless of the market performance, you'll always have your insurance policy. Okay? The difference between that and the IUL, regular IUL, is if the market crashed in the first 5 to 10 years, all in a row, okay, you're just starting out, your cash surrender value is very low, right? Then you'll probably have to put more money in to keep it from lapsing. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay? Because an IUL is a little bit different. It's okay? So let's take it up. So on this one, on Nationwide, if you're familiar with it, right, you're going to go to Universal Life. Okay, Universal Life, and you'll see something here called no lapse guarantee. Okay, Universal Life, Nationwide Your Life, no lapse guarantee UL. So you're gonna go there. We're in the state of California. Okay, so this is a 45-year-old. Let's just run one so you guys see what it looks like. Okay, so 250,000 level death benefit. We're just going to solve it, okay? And premium can be anything, monthly, annuals, okay? So we're going to solve that. And then basically, everything's already on here. Okay, we're good to go. So it's very simple. You guys just need to know where to find it, right? So Nationwide, no lapse guarantee on there. And let's see what value it comes out to be. So the value comes out to be this 2,200, right? Or 186 monthly. So basically all it means is as long as you have this one here, right? Remember what guarantee column means. What does guarantee column mean? Do you guys know that? Like in an insurance illustration? What does guaranteed column mean versus non-guaranteed? What does guaranteed mean?
That's
The
what they
minimum.
get.
The minimum.
Okay. Somebody else?
That's what you're gonna get.
You're gonna get the principal.
Get a principal. Somebody else? John?
So basically it's just showing that your money's not gonna, what if the market was taken, this is what you're gonna be earning, which is basically the guarantee minimum.
Okay. Okay, good. You guys are getting the right one,
Tell
right?
us your
So you're right. You're right. You know, all of you guys together are right. So guarantee basically means that it is the minimum, but I want more detail, right? So the detail is they're gonna maximum charge you the max that they're allowed to, okay, on the policy, because like the thick booklet that you get on the policy, right? There's some maximum charges shown. Why is that in there? You guys know?
That makes sure they cover themselves.
To cover, not to cover themselves, to cover the client.
The client.
Okay? Because to protect the client. Because if it's not written in a contract, the company can go, oh, I'm going to charge you $50,000 this year. I'm going to charge you $100,000 this year because the economy is bad.
I see.
Do you want that happening to your clients?
No.
So the company has it in writing that this is the maximum allowable that we can charge you. Okay? Even in the worst emergencies, the company is going in dire straits. They need money. They cannot charge you more than a maximum amount of money for your policy per year. Does that make sense?
That means non-guarantee fluctuates.
Yeah, so no. Guarantee just means that, we cannot, going back to, guarantee means that we are charging you the maximum, okay?
Right.
And also, the market is crashing every year, okay? So basically, guarantee is showing you the worst case scenario.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Okay? If you show this worst case scenario at the same premium in a regular IUL, the policy will lapse, okay? Right? Meaning you have to put more money in. Okay, so instead of 2,000 in a regular IUL, you probably have to put 3,000 or 4,000.
Really?
Right? Because it's maximum charge and it's crashing every single year, right? But in a NLG type of product, as long as you maintain the 2,300 every single paycheck, or not paycheck, every single monthly or annual scheduled premiums, you're on track for that one, then even if the market crashed and they charge you a maximum, your policy value and the accumulated value is 0, right? Your policy will go on till, I think...
Till you die.
Till you die, right? So let's look it up. Does that make sense to you guys? Look at that. Even though all this accumulated value is 0...
Age 120.
Right? Meaning maximum charge every year for 70-something years and a market crash for 75 years in a row, you still will maintain your policy, okay, in contract because it's a no-lapse guarantee. Okay, do you guys understand the meaning now?
Yeah.
And the difference between this and IUL? But in reality, is the market going to crash for 75 years in a row?
No.
No.
If that's the case, this is the last thing you're worried about.
Yeah.
Right? If market crash 75 years in a row, there's going to be a lot of looting. There's going to be a lot of we can be real, right?
We're going to try to third world country.
75 years in a row crash, right? It's going to be a lot of crazy things out there. We've seen movies and sci-fi about it, right?
Ukraine or something.
Yeah, it's going to be some crazy things out there, right? So
Escape from New York.
it's scary, right? But literally that's what guarantee means. Okay. Worst case scenario, you'll still keep the policy alive as long as you keep maintaining the monthlies. Now, there's also a stipulation that you cannot miss a monthly if you're on monthly. If you're on annual, you cannot miss an annual. Okay. Then that gets rid of the NLG guarantees. Okay. So that's a disclaimer that you want to have for your clients. Okay. No lapse guarantee as long as you're on track and on schedule.
What guarantee charges?
Yeah, so you'll have that for the rest of your life as long as you stay on schedule. Now, remember, no lapse guarantee doesn't mean it's going to charge you the guarantee. Does that make sense?
Right.
They're just showing you worst case scenario, the guarantee column. In reality, it's probably going to look more closely to the non-guarantee, right? So if you look at the, let me see.
So which one would you prefer to show your client, Lon?
I show my client the typically non-guarantee for sure. Yeah. So, but on the no lapse guarantee, I don't even know if they show it to you. So.
Okay. That's just mostly for us to know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're not even showing it to you. It's showing you a guarantee. Okay? You guys got it? Because main purpose again is not cash value. It's going to have cash value. But main purpose is not cash value. Main purpose is just having the insurance, having a guarantee for life.
What's the primary summary? Or premium summary? Sorry.
I'm sorry? Show
on the tabs to the left, under premium summary?
Oh,
so they even have the option to they have options too to put more in later.
Yeah, they can put, so the
6,000?
Target's 22, maximum is, this is guideline annual premium.
So they can still, they'll have the option later down the line.
They can put more money in.
They can still.
But remember, even if they put more money in, they still have to stay on track with the minimum monthly. Okay? If not, then the no lapse guarantee goes away.
That's pretty cool.
Got it? So that's another idea that, I don't know if you guys know this or not, maybe this is another idea that the reason why we have this class today is we're opening you guys up to the options where what if you come across certain clients who has certain needs, who has certain questions, then if you only know the basic IUL, you're like, oh, you know what, like this is what I know, and then you stop there, right? So this class specifically is for different cases that you might utilize this one. You might utilize a client who's like, oh, you know, I like the feature in the whole life where, you know, like as long as I keep paying my certain amount of money, I'm going to have it for the rest of my life. You can't do that in your IUL. Well, now we can say what? Yes, we can. Right? This is an IUL. This is right. This is a index universal life type of product that you can have that same feature as a whole life. Right? So this is to equip you guys with being out in the field, and people have these certain questions that you have to be able to handle. Right? Like what do they say? Oh, well, I like the feature in whole life, right? I like the feature in whole life where, you know, if I continue paying my premium, I can be guaranteed my, like even to the market crash, right? Because they're going to use that to attack your IUL. So we can do that too if you want it. Right? This is so you guys know how to deal with 1035 exchange and how to deal with income protection and all that, right? So that's a little bit more advanced for you guys in this one. One last thing I want to show you guys is pretty cool.
This Samsung phone just died.
Oh, okay, it's fine. Okay. They miss out, okay? So they miss out. So I have 5 minutes left. I'm going to show you one last one from Pack Life. Oops, why did I click on Nationwide? Because it's on my side.
Because you like it.
Because I like it. It's on my side. Okay, Navigator. Okay, so this is Pack Life. Once you guys are fully appointed to these companies, you have access to these. Okay, so if you're newly licensed and you're not appointed, then get appointed to Nationwide, Pack Life, Boya, all these companies. All right. So one last thing I want to show you is something called a benefit distribution rider, a BDR. Benefit distribution rider, just so that you guys understand what it is, because other companies use it, okay? And so that when you're caught out in the field and people are talking about it, you're like, what is it? I don't know. Let me just write it down, right? But wouldn't it be cool if you goes, I know exactly what it is, right? So that's the point of today. So let's take a look. This is just one of their standard products, the PDX. 35-year-old male, etc. 25. Okay, so this is, let's switch to advanced. Okay, so let's take a look at this product and how it distributes. Okay, so this guy's doing $250 monthly. Let me see what the, let's do more. Let's do 500. 500 to age 65, that's fine. And let's do distributions. Okay, so let's solve for distribution at age 66 to age 80. That's fine. Let's just leave it. Okay, so let's take a look at what this policy looks like. And if it'll work. Okay, that works. Target premium. So guideline annual is how much? Guideline annual premium is 9,000. Okay, so we're putting in 6,000. That works, right? So let's take a look at this. 6,000 up to age 65. That's 186 total. Okay, so I want to show you. Oops, this is increasing forever. So let me switch the death benefit to level. Right here. So let's switch this to level. Age 65. Age 66. Okay. This is not my default. Okay, so let's take a look. Let's rerun that. All right, so let's take a look. Much better. Okay, so I have a 35-year-old saving $500 a month for 30-some years, right? 186 total. And basically, by the time he retires, he's going to take out how much a year? 47,000, right? In 4 years, he's basically taking out all his premiums, right? Like all his principal, right there, 186. You see that?
Right.
Okay, and then these are all interest. Pretty cool, right? So 765,000 of interest. Pretty cool.
Nice.
All right, non-taxable on the interest. Now, what we can do, there's something called a. Remember, one rider was a built-in what term? One rider was a built-in trust. How about a rider that's a built-in annuity?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So there's another one, right? So these are simple terms so that you guys can understand. This is a built-in annuity, right? So what it's going to do is it's going to let's say that you're at age 66. You don't need a death benefit anymore because your kids are grown up, the mortgage is paid off. This policy itself has no long-term care. You don't need the death benefit to be this high. So what it's going to do is there's a benefit distribution rider. You check mark here. Okay? And what the benefit distribution rider is basically it decreases your death benefit so you get more cash. Remember it was 47,000, right? Okay? So let's take a look. So what it's going to do is it's going to decrease a portion of your death benefit, right? And what happens is now instead of 47, you get 50,000. Okay? And I know it doesn't sound like a huge difference, right? But before it was like 760, whatever the case is. But now you get an extra 60,000. Okay, so it's just a little bit more bang for your buck. You can actually get a little bit more for your client, you know, in some of these designs. Okay, because if you're trying to squeeze out, you know, like higher payouts for some clients, you know, this might be a way to do it. Does that make sense? If you're playing around with numbers, you're trying to squeeze out numbers. I just want you guys to understand what it is. Okay, what it is you'll see it across other companies' products as well, and they'll talk about that. All right. So, how many of you guys have heard of that before today? Benefit distribution rider? No? So, Schuster, you learned something new today?
I did.
All right. Built-in annuities too, right? So, there you go. Right? So, it annuitizes a portion of your death benefit, right? To give you a little bit more cash. Okay? Pretty cool?
Very good.
All right. I think I'm running out of time. And I hope you guys learned a little bit of something new. So, when you're out in the field, you're more equipped, right? And your face looks very calm when you're competing against these other agents and these clients ask you questions. You go, oh, I know what that is. Okay? Yes, sir.
So
Last
with
comment.
that, is that you can select the
BDR.
BDR, after, you know, at some point in time, or is that right up front?
Most of the companies I know, you select up front. Yeah. Okay.
That's because the client doesn't know his future.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
But okay, it's an option.
Yeah, it's an option that you have on there that you can. When you have the rider, it allows you to elect that option. Okay, to utilize. You don't have to use the BDR, but when you have it on the policy, it gives you the option to select it or not select it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
Got
you
it?
could, later on, you could actually remove that rider.
Right.
And that cost goes
Right.
back in. Okay.
Right. That's right. Okay. Question.
But for the Transamerica, the FFIUL, we also can design a policy looks like that, right?
But no benefit rider though. But no benefit distribution rider.
Yeah, but we can design such a way that this client can start withdrawing money at certain
Of
age,
course.
right?
Of course.
So it's similar to that.
Yeah.
But that is not a rider.
Yeah, benefit distribution rider is just adds more money. Remember, the initial distribution was 47,000.
Right.
The benefit distribution rider adds in another 3,000 a year.
Okay.
You remember that? So basically, it's annuitizing part of the death benefit to give you more cash.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, it's squeezing out more cash.
So does Transamerica have a such rider?
No. Yeah. Every company has their own right. Like this one doesn't have income protection.
Okay.
This one doesn't have long-term care.
Yeah.
Right. So and this one, the NLG doesn't look as good as Nationwide. So that's why we have companies for a reason. Right? We have multiple companies for a reason, and it allows us to do that. Okay? So I think the time's running out.
Great job, Lon.
All right. All right, it's all yours.
Was that impressive, you guys, or what?
Yes, it was.
Man.
Great job, man.
Now he went through Transamerica, he went through Nationwide, he went through Pac Life illustrations, right? It's awesome. If you guys don't have those on your computer, you need to download them, right? And get to know those illustrations for your clients. Okay, so who can give me 2 points? 2 people can give me 2 points about Lom's class. Anybody? Something they learned, something great they learned? Yeah, Brian.
The base insured is a rider. That's like a built-in term.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Give him a round of applause. Anybody else? Carlos.
Also, the income protection option on the Transamerica policies also.
Awesome. Let's give
That's
him a round of applause.
It's a form of trust fund.
What's that?
Which is a form of trust fund.
That's right, David. That's right. That's right. Points and comp in the back. 2 people. What did you guys learn? Points and comp. Anybody? No?
Come on.
I know Susan had to go outside, but anybody else? Oh, David, as always. All right. Let's go. All right.
All right. So we just pretty much just went over different ways of how points, how you gain points, and how you get paid based on the points you make.
Yeah.
And different positions that you're at, for the training associates, and stuff like that, as well as like how S&Ds get paid, how the different types of overrides we went over, and as well as developing your leadership for yourself and your team, and building your own business.
Wow. All right. Anytime you have a class, you just get David in your class and you're good. He represents you big time. Who trained that? Who was the trainer?
Pam.
Pamela. Let's give her a round of applause. Wow. Man, people are learning some good things in this place, huh? Wow. So if we're learning lots of good things, that means we should be going out in the public and educating them on what we learn, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's our job, is to go out and educate people how to make and save money, right? How to reduce the impact of taxes, how to go out there and build something for their family and leave a legacy, right? That's why we're here, right? So it's a big thing. It's important. Also,
right, yeah.
Joyce, you got something?
Yes. Like I said, Pam's an excellent job.
Yeah.
And, to role model.
Yeah.
If we want, a good business, then you need a role model for your team.
Mm.
And to recruit. You got to get out there and get our team going. And when you do that, there's several different levels of commissions and overrides. And I'm even more motivated, because she did an excellent job in it, and she modeled it. So,
wow. Well, let's give Joyce and Pam one more. So Joyce was saying people that set the example, are a good role model, a good trainer, somebody out there that you can that can mentor you or give you the right advice, and we all want to be on that same level as well. We want to get credit too, you know. We want to do a service to ourselves so we can do a service to other people. So that's a big deal. So we got the Laughlin Villa contest, right? That's still we got a few more days, right? At the end of this month, is that what it is?
Yeah.
One more week. Yeah, 20.
Yeah, May 26th.
May 26th, guys. So who's going for Laughlin contest? Come on. I know a few people already qualified. I know Johnny's qualified for sure, right? Who else is qualified? I think Susan qualified. Yeah, a few other people.
qualified.
Rune's qualified.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. We got people going there. We're kind of, some of us are a little slow, but that's all right. We'll get there. We'll get there. And then we got check this out, Raja Dhaliwal. Oh my gosh. $5 million ring earner, passive income. Are you kidding me? This guy used to be a cab driver. Seriously, this guy owned a cab business. Would you guys say that's pretty awesome? Who's going to Raja Dhaliwal? Raise your hand. All right. Who's going to learn something from Raja Dhaliwal? Who's going to apply it to their business? All right, just keep that hand raised, okay? I hope you wore deodorant today, okay? Because your hands are going to be up for a while. All right, so Momentum Monday. Do we know what the next one is? Do we know that?
Yeah, we know the next one, but it's a waste.
Okay.
We'll put the next one up.
All right, so we're not worried about that.
Next month.
This is the big one, guys. This is the big one. Convention registration. This is huge, right? Big people come out of these events. You know why? Because the more that they take in, the bigger they have. You know, the expansion of the stuff they can go out and and sell to the public. You know, in their mind, sell the dream, right? So going to conventions, huge. Who's registered for convention? Stand up if you're registered for convention. I want to see. All right. Oh my gosh. All right. And if you haven't, I know you're going to, right? Just say yes.
Yes.
All right. Awesome. Let's do a super whoosh while we're standing up. Everybody up? All right. Fired up. All right. We're gonna say money making May, right? Because we want to make money for ourselves, and we want to make money for who? Everybody else, right? Okay. So we're gonna do a super whoosh. I call it a super whoosh. We're gonna go whoa, then we're gonna go whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Money making May. Boom. All right? Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Money making May. Boom. So 3 whooshes. Here we go. Whoa! Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Money making May. Boom. All right. Awesome, everyone. Yeah. Chairs, please, gentlemen.
Right, leave the first 2 rows.
Thank you.
Okay. Lama Lena's team will convene in our office.
Andy's team and Andy's.
Yesterday.
Where you guys going?
Over there. You want to go with us?
Yeah.
You want to go with us? Three chairs to the room, May. Oh, 10 chairs to a stack.
Yes.
If they approve medical
Nationwide, you can add anything.
We have a meeting over here. Because most of the other positions, like you get it at the beginning.
Where?
That's the only
In your
option.
California. So,
In your office?
Okay, so far,
We're missing you.
Okay.
In the office.
So in California, that's the rule because Nationwide got grandfathered in on an old rule. That's why they can do it. So even if it's 5 years, 10 years, you can add it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yep.
Cool. But anyway, it was an eye-opener for
All right.
sure. Yeah, all the time.
All right, guys. Oh, yeah.
yeah, hopefully, right?
Yeah. No, this is good. We can get the air.
Oh, okay.
Right? Feels good? Yeah.
Yes.
Because it's a little bit warm sometimes, right? So, congratulations, Joyce, on the license.
Yeah.
Just go out there and make it happen. quick,
She's
some
fighting
things.
for lawsuit. I said two
Oh,
more
you gotta get the recruits.
Come on.
So you're gonna set appointments with Dave, right? And then get them in, bring some guests to BPM. Remember, the guest you brought in to BPM Eddie, guess what happened? He came on board.
Right,
So,
right.
so the more you can get into the BPM and guests, and you know, they can come in. Then remember, when you're inviting for everyone, right? Don't be too desperate. The more desperate you are, the person feels it and they run away from you. Right? So that's one thing that you guys have to learn how to take it away over the phone, and just remember that the key phrase is, hey, I don't even know if this is for you or not. That's a takeaway. I don't know if you're gonna like this or not. I don't know if you'll be interested or not. Right? I don't know if you qualify, you're interested or not. Right? But based on the fact that you said that you're not happy with your job, based on the fact that you want more for your family, you want more time, you want more income, then I think it makes sense to come in and look. Worst case scenario, right? Like worst case scenario, you learn a lot. Worst case scenario might not be for you, but you gain a lot of education. Worst case, right? Best case scenario can change life. That's pretty cool, huh? See? So just keep it simple and invite people and get them going. And then remember, you can leverage other people to help out, right? So you can leverage me and Dave, and you can leverage one another to help out, not only to book but also to confirm. Right? Once you have someone who's ready to come in, then have somebody else to call and confirm. And when you confirm, you have a better ratio of people coming in. All right? So let's focus on this month, all right? Because we talked about it coming into convention. May, especially May, right, and June, but May, is if you have somebody brand new coming on board in May, and then they register for convention, they come through convention, they can be your fireball in your business, right? Because they're coming into this at the right time. If they come into the business in August or September, it's okay. We still want people coming on board at that time, right? But there's a long time before the next big event until Fall in December. And so these big events are what really makes a huge impact on a lot of people. So we've seen some of the biggest guys we talked about how, because they joined right before convention, it just opened up their eyes, opened up their minds and their heart, and they're like, man, I'm gonna do this full time. Right? I'm gonna do this like gung ho, all in, balls to the wall. Right? So one last thing I want to mention, because we gotta go, right? I don't know if Megan has something, is the team contest for this month. Team contest for this month is we're all invited to David and Business House. Okay, so June 10th. So let's mark it on the calendar. June 10th.
Because they try to make it like
they're out of
most
town.
people can do it because Maroon is the only main
Yeah,
one.
sorry, everyone.
But
They're out of town on the day
this
before.
Sunday, because David's still in Houston, next week they were invited to I think is it June 1st?
Yeah, it's a couples retreat.
Couple retreat which is Steve over there. So they can't make it. So that's why I had to do it. From what time? 2 to 5:30.
Yeah.
Right?
So somewhere she texted. So.
Yeah, I think from 2 to 5:30. We don't have to stay all like 3-4 hours.
Right.
But get there at 2:30 so you can get some food. We're gonna pay for the food, using their house and the leadership and like get together. If you have to leave at 4, you can leave at 4, but at least 2 hours so you can like get as much as out of the party.
This
I
will
want
be.
everyone going because he didn't do it for everyone, for every team.
This is a very special event, so and this is at least as an example of success, right? David coming from 19 years old, started the business and operated a boba store, right? And then now he has a fairly decent sized house and sells the dream a little bit. So you can actually invite any of your teammates. So for example, you can invite Bert, you can invite other people. It's in Fullerton, right? So you can invite people, and maybe that will help to revive the dream. People who have come and gone, right? Fred and Malka, you have some old teammates. Say, hey, it's just a party. Don't worry about it. Just come hang out, right? Kind of like this is somebody who's been doing well in the business. There's gonna be food there. It's casual. There's no meetings. There's no, you know what I mean? It's not that. It's just a casual get together. Right? So if you have people who come on board in the past, you guys have people on board, you have people on board, invite them, but don't invite them if you don't have a good relationship with them, right? So, right, this is their private home to invite this into. So if you have like a good relationship with them and all that, then you can invite them over, all right? So this will be a good time to do that. Be on the field, all right? Like, hey, there's gonna be a party out here, really, and we're not lying. It is an actual party, okay? Food, music, all that stuff, right? So it's gonna be a party. It's gonna get together. It allows us to team bond, but also, bring some of your old teammates to revitalize and revise them, right? They say you can't revive the dead. It's easier to give birth than revive the dead. But these events can help to revive. There's a CPR can do that too. I'm sorry? Old possible recruits, if you're close with them, right? If you're close with
and you know that they're good people.
the prospect, they're good people.
Because they have kids at home, and
Yes.
it's pretty personal. So as long as you know them and you're friends and good people, then you can invite them.
And also, it helps if they've been introduced to the business before already. Like you've already talked to them about it and all that, right? The business is not out of the blue, right? So you kind of talked to them about the business already and all that, right? And then you know them, you can also bring them. Okay, let us know too. So that we have a list of like, hey, so we know who to talk to. So you'd be like, oh, I'm planning to bring my friend Tom and all that, right? I already talked about the business, and he's a very close friend of mine, very trustworthy, and I want to bring him to the party and to associate, and then maybe that can stir something up, right? You can utilize this event. It's going to be very fun. Okay, so you can bring your families to these events, like your spouses and your close ones, right? Bring your family.
Now I'm thinking of celebrating May birthday at the house. So who is born in May? Who buy a cake and stuff like that? So
we don't have any babies.
We don't have May, so I don't have to buy a cake.
Wow, we have April babies.
Yeah.
So how many
June.
June babies?
I'm gonna check.
June,
yeah, you have to go there.
Okay.
June. Okay. So and then Lachlan, please, some of you guys are very close.
Yes.
Just talk about the recruiting. Remember we have another not contact, but the mastermind with.
That's what I was gonna finish up with. So I don't know if it's before or after the party. I'll let you guys know. But what we're planning to do is we're planning to do a qualification contest. So the party everyone can come to. Everyone can come to. But in the month of May, for the people who either get 2 recruits, right, personal recruits, or they do a 1-1, which is a recruit and an application, right, then they will be invited to a special mastermind session with David, and I don't know, maybe we can pull in some other people, right, but with David, where they're going to help coach you in the business, right, it's private time, and it's FaceTime and all that, where it's going to be well worth it, okay, so I want you guys to fight for that. You should fight for that for your regular goal anyway, right, it's just a bonus, it's just a cherry on top of your business, right, so I really want you guys to push for minimum 2 recruits is fine, each and every single one of you guys, okay, minimum 2 recruits, because those 2, most likely, if you get those 2 to convention, that could be your coming out of convention, could be your rabbits that leads your business to your next promotion, okay? Any other announcements?
Class start school, well, we're gonna bring back the class start school.
Class Andy love it, yeah.
Yeah, because there's so many events and stuff like that, so we're not gonna do it from 2 to 4. And so what we do is we're gonna do it on BPM time. So on June 9th and June 3rd and June 16th.
Okay.
And so what we're gonna do is we have class 1 hour, right? Normally class training is 1 hour. So I'm gonna meet and then go to the meeting of the meeting. I'm gonna meet the meeting, and then probably 11:20, 11:15 to 12. You come back before 12, and let's say you have a new recruit, you go out and you have a build some relationship with the recruit. You come back, you don't have to stay, and then your new recruit stay for the second hour, from 12 to 1. The trainer needs to rest too, right? So the first 1 hour is at BPM, the class. After that, meeting of the meeting, you go out there, you get a quick bite, you build some relationship with new recruits. And they come back before 12, and they start from 12 to 1. So we want to try out at twice this month. Because we found out people who went to Casa School is safe. Because we didn't have it for 4 months because so many things going on in event, and a lot of people say, well, there's so many events, so many training. I don't have time to go out there and do appointment, family time, so that's why we kind of didn't do it for 3 months to 1 month. Okay, so but it's so important. The orientation is very important. That's outside of the one-on-one orientation. Because we talk about the whole thing, the system, everything. Okay, so if you have a new recruit, rally that, we remind you of it.
Say it's June 2nd and 9th or
The float, not this one.
Third is a Sunday.
Sorry. I think it's the second, sorry. June 2nd and June 16th.
The 2nd and 16th.
Yes. Okay. So that's it, because you know why? There's only me and him.
One, two, three.
Right.
Rush! He's so quiet! 3, 2.
So that's in,
Oh, I know.
Hey, stranger, let's sit over here for a little bit.
oh, that's for, Roger.
I am, but I can't. I drove my brother, so he's still. So I kind of met him. I just want to like finish this up.
At least you're doing it.
Just because I'm a girl does not mean I don't like it.
Joe. Let me know the train holds us up.
Oh, I know. I
See my IT skill? Everything's automated.
No, it's okay.
We have our sacrifice. I know.
Yeah.
But there shouldn't be any. Certified PM, so they checked everything. 2014 CMAX.
Oh, yeah.
It's a pre-order, so before you can start, you already checked that. Why did you not? You started like this and you said what? And don't tell me it's my fault.
They said this one's
Because I'm saying I've only gotten.
No. You want to borrow it?
Yeah, can I borrow
Oh, you know, on top of whatever.
Just give it 20 when you let out.
I'll leave 100.
50 better.
That's a lot more.
Well, I went to like Vegas.
No, I don't think there's any. I'll just
Okay. Let me know if this should
I know, I'm a girl. Just because I'm a girl does not, I do not know what the hell.
Yes, we should do something. They're gonna sell you something.
I know me. Just say Terry.
So I'm 7 and 7. It's like the drink.
7 and 7? You got 7 people? Who counted?
I have 7 butts and seats.
Okay, well, I haven't gotten to that part.
No, I know.
Hello.
Double dose family.
Okay, basically, I make sure that I count how many people are in pregame for both all teams, even if we don't have them here, because sometimes we get people who are not in. So I just count them in. And I just make sure that they're counted for. And I just count. Yeah, pregame, how many people? There can be 2. Oh no, not 1. Yeah, they're right here. And then I count and make sure who was all in per team. I count how many guests we have per team. So then all in all, we had 31 together. And everything on the list we should have together. We do not have butts and seats. But they do count for a total of how many people are in. So I make sure that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 30. I should have 30 years. 26, 27, 28, 30. Plus one guest, 31 altogether. Okay? And after we do that, I figure out each person.
That was good? Hey, that's how we do it.
Let's say Ray had five associates together. His 5 teammates together. Carlos has 3. David has 2. Steve has 3. You'll get to know who's who. This is the thing that we're sometimes you have to, if you're not aware of who's in the thing, just ask, how many do you have? How many did you have today? How many did you have today? And it's usually, you'll know who's who, but who's your upline that you can know. It's usually we cut MD and MD. Nobody else is lower than MD because the next one is SMD. So anybody who's MD, that's what we count. How many associates they have. And then
I met a teacher that she's retiring. All perspectives. Oh, talking about.
No, but okay. I thought you said it was. Oh, it's the other one is. No, I think is Tim Jordan here?
Yeah, he is. He's in the office.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, sure. I think he's under Johnny. I think so.
Andy will remind us how it has to be under.
I like it. Like sometimes when I do it, so you can make it up.
I was reading a book last night and I read all these parts that are really because I forgot all part. So I read part of it and I dropped the book and never picked it up again. I even have some things highlighted and I don't even remember highlighting.
Oh, okay, good.
Oh, yeah. You saw what long way to become okay. Well, you have to have certain applications. You have to have software for nationwide, Pacific Life. Like a Transamerica, you go to my WOT to get into that one, you don't need to download it. You just launch it right away. I didn't know she said that.
Now, did you have anything on the floor?
Yeah, a lot of about it.
Just the trash can?
No, only the shelf, but it's like yeah, David and
You don't move it, they just
I don't have any. My cabinet is size small. I was gonna lift the furniture out in the air so it
Terry did it.
Have you seen the ones that got spikes?
Like the chair stuff, right?
All right, so I was gonna ask.
Flowers go wrong. I don't know how to pick one. It's true. Yeah, it's 7 plus 3. He was like trying to get like 3 days. I don't know, honestly. Yeah, I'm gonna have it in July. So I'll be
Are you coming back in July?
Yeah.
You get information?
You know what? I haven't seen my sister for 5 years. Just happened to come at the wrong time. So I had to change my trip.
Where are you going?
3 days to Paris and go.
Thank you.
Speak up for the baby. She's so cute.
I got